Welcome to the Art of Lifting podcast. We have got the British preview show. We're going to start with the women's and then work through to the men's. I am joined by Jayne and Ben. Won't make you guys introduce yourselves. I think we should just jump straight in and get started. We'll work through in weight class order. So we'll start with the under 47s that are competing on the Friday. Under 47s, there's only 5 lifters, but to be fair, I feel like for the 47s, that's a decent turnout for British. I feel like we have got quite a close battle across all of them, to be fair. So I'm going to list off, apologies if I pronounce names wrong here, which I probably will throughout the entire episode. So ranked first on the schedule, we've got Anas with 325, Shavari with 322.5, and then Nicola Murray with 320. So those three alone are super, super close on nominations. And then we've also got Lauren Murray with 307.5 and Gigi with 305. So all the way down to 5th, they're all pretty close to each other. In my notes, I've had a little look, and Nicola, I mean, she's a super light 47 for one, and I think with the lighter weight classes, we have to take into account how close in the class they sit. I would say with Nicola, like, she's actually who I've ranked first because she sits really comfortably in the class, like 44 kilos. She's competed for a good few years now. She's got quite a lot of experience. She recently hit 330 at Westerns as well, so slightly above what the other two are ranked with there. And then Anas, she weighed in really light at her last couple of meets. So again, I think she sits pretty comfortably in the class. I've ranked her with second because her total is from last year's British and she's not competed since. I couldn't find tons of information on her when I had a look, but I would imagine she's had a whole year. She's probably built on that total a little bit. And then I've also put Anas in third. I think the reason behind that was, let me have a look. My notes are all in the wrong order, so we're off to a really good start. I've got that the wrong way around. It was Anas who's not competed since last British, so I put her in second. And then Shavari's only recently dropped to 47s, and she's only done 3 meets in total. So she's got the whole newbie gains thing, but equally she's recently cut down a weight class. Obviously that had a bit of an impact on progress. Her most recent comp, Shavari, was powering through, and she did hit a big total, but not sure how easy it was for her to make weight for that one. So I put her in third.
I've pretty much got the same order as you there. I think exactly what you said about Nicola. She's got a lot of experience, including international experience, just competing at Westerns. And that total, I think, was with also missing her last deadlift because she went for the Western European record. So arguably she has a bigger total if she loaded, a different number on the day. And then I've also put Shavari in third as well, I think, because she also hasn't done a national level competition before. So I think she's only done regionals. So this will be her first nationals, although her total did seem to go up, even though she dropped the weight class. So I think that's, a promising sign. But yeah, I've got the exact same order as you there.
Yep, me as well. Nicola, obviously coming off the back of Westerns and loading up. I think it's 325 is the Carpino she needs for Europeans. I think it's too far away to make the Worlds team, but for the Europeans team, as long as she wins, I think she's guaranteed a space on that Euros team, which would be really good for her. And that next step on that kind of international progression after Westerns is to get to Europeans.
Yeah, I think it's worth as well with each weight class. We'll just mention the Carpino, which is basically automatic selection for Worlds, is winning your weight class and hitting the Carpino 3. So for the 47s, that's 405, which is obviously a massive total as a 47. And like you said, Ben, probably more likely looking at a Euros spot, which I haven't got the total up in front of me for Euros. What did you say it was?
I think it's 325.
Yeah, so that's definitely something they'll be battling for. So it'll basically be whoever wins is almost kind of guaranteed that spot, right? Because they're all in that range. So that'd be really good to see. And I think it makes the 47s really exciting to watch this year. Okay, moving on to the 52s. So let's have a little look who we've got. So got quite a big group of 52s. Ranked first, we've got Leonie with 395. Second, we've got Molly with 383. And then third, we've got Emily with 382.5. But I do think this one, again, is going to be quite a big battle for that top 3 spot. I've personally ranked Leonie as first because she hit 410 in May. And she recently hit a 407.5 in training that looks pretty clean. So I think she's a little bit further ahead there. And then Emily hit 382.5 in April at Bucks. And I do think the battle from second to fourth will be close. I think they'll all be around that 380 range. But obviously Bucks back in April, so a decent amount of time to build on that. And then I put Molly in third. I think it will be a close battle with Cherry. And I definitely recognize Cherry's name. I think she's been around a while. And I think she's, got the experience that it could be either way. I couldn't find much information on Molly, but I have backed her for podium simply because she's ranked a little bit higher. But again, I could be swayed either way there.
Yeah,
It's an interesting weight class. For sure, though.
I think Cherry used to be a 47. Am I right in saying that?
Let me double check open powerlifting. I think you might be right.
I feel like she used to be a 47 and maybe even did Westerns as a 47 last year.
Yes, you're correct. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I wouldn't count Cherry out, especially if she is still filling out that weight class and it looks like it. She competed as a 52 last year, but she still only weighed about 50 kilos.
Yeah, she was 49.8 at British last year. So,
and it looks like she's been putting up some big bench presses in training. But I personally put Emily in second as well, just because I feel like her rate of progress compared to the other lifters in the class, like every competition, she seems to be just like, she was like 365, then 370, then 380. Like she's consistently adding kilos to her total. And then I also put Molly in third as well. I've seen her compete a couple of times. And again, she seems to be a lifter who makes a lot of progress. She's got a big bench press as well. So I think Leonie, Emily, then Molly for me.
See, I think the Molly will be up there. I know she's been in the class and she did Home Nations, like just drifting into 57s, but Molly's been lifting at a very good level for a number of years, it seems. Like coming through the juniors, she was very, very strong. I just have a feeling. That Molly will come in second. I don't know, it's against the pair of you, but Leonie's
That's
clear.
no one will be up there.
I think Leonie's clear, right?
Yeah,
I mean, Molly benched 95 at 52.1 at Home Nations, and I saw a video of it, and it was like, I want to say RP7. Yeah. She can probably bench 100, which is really, really cool. So I think it's going to be the case of probably Molly trying to put up the biggest subtotal that she can, and then avoid the bigger pullers like Cherry and Emily trying to push her off places.
Yeah, definitely. And she missed a deadlift at Home Nations as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, it looks like there's some kilos left in that kind of 380 total to push it into the 90s.
Yeah, it'll be good. And I think that's a really good way to start the weekend as well for the women, because we've got 47s and 52s competing at the same time on the Friday, and we've got close battles in both. So I think that'll be really exciting to watch. The Carpino for that class is 444.5. So that'll be most likely, unless someone's really progressed in the last kind of few months, that'll probably be out of reach. But Ben, do you know for Euros what they'd need?
I think it's 414.
Okay. So potentially Leonie could be aiming for that.
I think as well, she's probably, unless she misses any lifts, she's probably far enough away in front of everyone else that she could send it for that. I don't know why. Did my camera just zoom in?
Yeah.
Did I do that?
I think so.
Okay. I didn't mean to do that, but we'll leave it. But if she misses lifts, she will have to be careful, because obviously some of these girls could be pushing into the 390s as well. So I think whether she can go for that Carpino or not really depends on how good her day is going. If she's clearing first after her second deadlift, just load it up and go for it. But it's something really nice about both of these classes, the 47 and 52s. I think you'll both agree here is like the depth that we're seeing in these classes. Before, there might be one kind of standout lifter, but there wasn't really that depth that there was, 4 people that could make the podium or 5 people that could make the podium. So it's really nice to see that standard rising.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Just that growth, isn't it, in the sport, coming through in all weight classes now?
Yeah, 100%. And I think before, people wouldn't have probably tuned in to watch those lighter weight classes because they just wouldn't have been as exciting. But obviously now they are, and we're seeing familiar names in them now as well. So that people will recognize the names on the schedule and they'll want to tune in and watch, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Next one, got some familiar names in this one. So under 57s, we've got Joy ranked first with 506, Bobby ranked second, 491.5, Adejoke ranked third, 478. Got a few other lifters coming up there as well that I expect to have really good days that won't be too far behind, but those 3 I think we can probably agree are pretty clear. I I think it's going to be really exciting. I've put Joy as first, just Joy's deadlift. She's going to load whatever she needs, right? Like, she's insane. Bobby's training has looked incredible all year, though. I think Bobby is on track to have a really, really good meet, potentially just PBs across the board. Has she hit in the 500s yet? I remember she was really close.
502 at World Games, weighing 57.6. So not in the 57s, but, you know, not that far off. And Bobby's been cutting into the 57s for years, so she knows what she's doing in terms of that. So I think this will be the competition where we see her go over 500, under 57.
Yeah, agree with that. And then at a jockey, she's always looked strong. I don't see her post loads. I don't know if I just miss it, but I don't feel like she posts her training too much. But she's been steadily progressing for a while. And what's the squat record in that class now? I don't know if anyone's got that up, but I know her and Bobby have kind of gone backwards and forwards with that, haven't they?
I believe, is it Bobby's with 187 from Worlds?
Wow.
And then, because it used to be that the British record was the same as the world record, which, I mean, that's worth saying about this class, is that we have like 3 literally like world level competitors. It's insane. But I think it could be 187.5.
So I'm looking on British Powerlifting website. It says 188.5 from, I'm guessing, last British. So
okay,
yes.
Unless it's not updated.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, that's Bobby 188.5. Yeah.
So I think we'll probably see a British record squat from one of the two of them, providing they're both coming in healthy. But I've ranked them as they are on nominations.
Yeah, I think I agree there. I think Bobby is always progressing, but Joy's deadlift is just so far away that she can just load what she needs for the win. And then, yeah, I have ranked Bobby in second this year, just because, again, as I said, I feel like she's making a lot of progress. I think she's going to go over 500, but it's just her classic case of, again, building the big enough subtotal. But her deadlift has also really been progressing this year. She deadlifted 197.5 at World Games. So again, we might see her hit the 200 kilo milestone in this comp as well.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to go away from what's written on the schedule, right? In that kind of order, because it's very hard to see Joy not being able to pull whatever's needed on the day. And I think it's so great that they're continuing to stay at 57 and fight each other for God knows what year this is of those two fighting it out. And at one point that will end, and then I think Joke will come through. But I don't know when that's going to be, because Joke is obviously world class, but just so unfortunate that she's in a weight class with 2 of the best 57s in the world, who have been for years. Like, I don't know, since I've started powerlifting, those 2 have been the powerhouses of British powerlifting on the female side.
Yeah, and I think for perspective there as well, Carpino in that weight class is 486, and I would be absolutely shocked if all 3 of them aren't above that. Like, Joy and Bobby probably both in the 500s, at a jockey very high 400s, like hitting the Carpino and not making it to Worlds. Like, obviously as we go through, we'll talk about who we think will hit the Carpino or not, but like, they are very hard to hit. And yeah, she'll obviously get selected, I would assume, for some international, whether that's Westerns or Europeans. I'd imagine probably Europeans. But again, it depends on who wants to go and who doesn't. But yeah, it's an insanely talented weight class. And I think it's worth mentioning as well below that, Caitlin Baxter, Katie Rimmel, both comfortably in the 400s. Both of their trainings looked incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have an insanely talented 57 class there. Okay, 63s, another stacked class with familiar names in. Sabrina Downs ranked first with 487.5, Makeda with 480.5, Suzanne with 470. There is quite a big gap from there down to 447.5 for literally the next 3 ranked lifters: Kathleen, Tara, Hannah, and then 442.5 for Hannah. So that's what, top 6 or 7? Can't see. 7? Like, that's going to be a battle even just for top 5. I do think podium will be out of reach for, obviously, people below Suzanne in that list, but it'll be a really good fight. I've not made tons of notes on this one. I don't know why I didn't make notes, but I put Sabrina as first, Makeda as second, Suzanne as third. I think Sabrina's training looks really good. Haven't seen tons from Makeda. That, again, could just be me. Suzanne never posts her numbers. She just posts her lifts with like pure gym plates. So I have no idea what she's lifting, but
And memes.
And memes.
literally, she is so consistent though. I would imagine it'll be some kind of total PB, a really nice, like clean day, probably no misses across the board, and a really good total from her anyway. I don't know if you guys have more notes than me on this class.
So the totals on the nomination, both Sabrina and Makeda have done a little bit more than that. So Sabrina did 497.5 at Worlds, and then Makeda did 495 at Euros. So they've both done more, but they're still both really, really tight. And they both have chip advantages. So Makeda can load the squat record, and then I think Sabrina will be able to break the bench record, which is at 120.5. And it's also worth noting that Sabrina did that 497.5 total with a no lift on her third squat, but only for depth. She squatted 175 and she got a no lift on depth, but she was strong enough to do it. So I have put her ranked first for that reason. I think that they can both go into the 500s. But I also think Sabrina's deadlifts have been looking really, really good at the moment. She posted like 200 kilos and it was like nothing. It was like an opener. So I have picked her for first, and then second, third as written. But I do think this is going to be a really, really tight battle. It's hard to call. It's going to be the person who can put up the most attempts on the day for sure.
And it's left to me to go against the grain again.
Of course.
Sabrina, Makeda, and then I've got Tara Piggott.
Interesting.
Because Tara's training has been what she's posted on Instagram previously. She hasn't really been posting recently from what I've seen. But her last total she put up, I think it was a 460-ish with a 195 deadlift from memory. But since then has posted her deadlifting 210.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've just seen one of her most recent reels was 457.5.
Yeah.
At
So
64 kilos.
So I think she did a 460 total in
Yeah,
competition.
so that was with the squat being a triple. I'm now watching it through. So yeah, her training, you might be on something there, Ben. But we don't know what Suzanne's been lifting.
We don't know what
So
Suzanne's
it's
been
hard to-
lifting. No one knows what Suzanne's actually been doing.
And Suzanne did just recently do Western
Westerns.
Euros as well, right? I'm trying to look up when Tara's last comp was. I know she did a SBD comp in France. And that's what that 447 is from. But you're right, she did 460 at like
Looks
the
like she
end of
missed-
2023.
Yeah, and with the 447 in France, she missed her third squat and she missed 2 deadlifts as well. So I would imagine it probably just wasn't the best day.
Yeah, and outside of that, she does tend to be someone who hits her lifts, maybe a squat here or there, it looks like, based on open powerlifting, but she's definitely a threat for sure. But Suzanne is also a super strong deadlifter as well. So again, it's just going to be they're very close on their numbers actually when you look at what they're capable of. So once again, it's just going to be who can make the most lifts. But yeah, you're right, she's definitely a podium threat for sure.
Right up there. And I think it will come down slightly more to the handling on the day and that number selection and where you place yourself on deadlifts, especially when you've got two athletes who deadlift, we say pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Like where openers are is going to be massive.
What are you jumping on second attempts? What's body weight advantage? All that stuff. And I think it's worth saying for like all these classes and all these battles, as you guys know as well from handling, is oftentimes in tight battles, it's not actually about who's strongest. It's about who makes the most attempts. And because people are in tight battles, they might, overshoot their squat and miss an attempt or whatever. So it really, really does come down to the attempt selection on the day.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
It's so exciting.
The Carpino for that class does take a massive jump up and is 534, which I would say is probably a bit out of reach. Yeah, that's an insanely high Carpino. But thing worth noting as well is I don't know. I mean, I haven't done the maths. Obviously, we're just kind of going through it as we talk, but I can't imagine every class is going to have everyone hit the Carpino. So there will be extra spots for the Worlds team, and I'd be shocked if one of those two don't make the world team. Yeah. Okay, 69 kilo class. Again, I've not made many notes on this one just because looking at the nominations, I obviously follow these lifters reasonably well.
Yeah.
Nominated first, Annie, 5:30 qualifying total. Nominated second, Mariella Fisher. Feels really good to see her name on there. So she's someone that I used to battle with. I say battle, I was quite far behind. I used to compete with back as a junior when I was in the 72s. It's good to see her back and back strong as well. She's nominated with 485, and then we've got Grace nominated with 483.5. And then just behind that, we've got Dominique with 470. Helen with 470 as well, but I believe Helen is injured, so I don't know if she tore, she did something to her adductor.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
she does like she's rehabbing well. But looking at her stories and stuff, I don't know that she's going to have the confidence to kind of go full strength. So we'll see there. Hopefully she still does the comp and kind of shows up. Below there as well, we've got Amy Craig. Is she still a junior? If she's not, I think she is, isn't she?
I think she did Uni Worlds.
Uni Worlds, yeah.
She's under 25.
Yeah, she's young, regardless. So 462 for her, which that is a reasonably close group. Obviously, we've got Annie out in front, and I think we'll probably all agree Annie is comfortably the favourite to win there. I've ranked Grace in second just because when she hit the 483 at English, I don't feel like it even looked that difficult. And I just think she's consistent, and I'm rooting for her to come second. Ben, I feel like you're pulling a face, but you see more of her training than I do.
No, I rate it. I just wasn't expecting it. I thought you'd back Mariella from the years in the juniors.
No, but then I don't see much of Mariella's training. She doesn't really post too much. I was about to say Mariella also has a young child, but so does Grace. So that crosses each other out there. But no, I think it'll be really close between the two of them. But yeah, I'm backing Grace for second, Mariella for third. But I could be swayed either way because they're both super strong and they're both just kind of a bit of a tear at the moment. And yeah, it's just exciting to see. And it's cool to see more mums like competing at that high level in GB as well.
We lost Jayne.
Sorry guys, I'm going to plug in my laptop.
No, you're fine.
Am I plugged in? Wait. Yes, okay, I'm alive.
Okay, perfect.
I agree with you. I have put Grace in second. And the reason being is that 483.5 was like so easy. Like that was an incredible performance. That was at All England's. Her squat literally, like I'm convinced she'll squat 200 as a 69, like eventually. Just looked really, really strong. So I think in terms of potential to push her total even further, I have put her in second, and then I have put Mariella in third. I think she is just far enough ahead of Dominique in terms of the subtotal, and she also does have a decent deadlift. Dominique has a very, very strong deadlift. She deadlifted 225, I think, at Southern Qualifier. And the deadlift record, I believe, is 232 by Tasman. So she's not too far off that, but I do think that, Mariella's lifts on subtotal are a lot more in front. I think Mariella did 485 with a 170 squat, and I've seen her hit 182.5 since. So even there's more room. But I imagine what we'll see is Dominique will probably try load up what she needs to come third and have a crack at it. And, we all know that anything can actually happen at nationals. So it'll be an exciting battle. And yeah, I agree. It's really cool to see Mariella and Alice Freeman, I think, are on the list as well, who were both 72 sub-junior and juniors. And they've been around for a long time and they've got a lot of experience. So it's cool to see them both still lifting at a very high level as well.
Yeah, I've got the same order, to be honest with you, Annie, then Grace, then Mariella. Like, I don't really see it going any other way. Like, Mariella was a great lifter as a junior, has had some time off from powerlifting and come back. Obviously, as you guys have both said, great to see her back. I think we're seeing slightly more of this with juniors who've peaked really well in juniors, then taken some time away from the sport, and are finally coming back through kind of the injuries and the wear and tear that you get from pushing as a GB athlete as a junior.
Yeah.
And then coming through into the open and still being at the top of the sport or close to the top of the sport. Like, it's great to see. But I do think Grace, with how, as both you said, All England's was, like, that she'll take second. I think she just has it, like, that strength on the day just comes through so well.
Yeah. Also have a question for you guys. So Carpino total, it's 550, which matches Annie's best ever total from, was it Wells? I think she hit that this year.
Yes.
Obviously she's capable of that, but she'd have to have very good day. Her training's looking good. She's looking strong. Again, I think she's probably going to make the world's team, even if she doesn't quite hit that. But do we think she's going to hit the 550?
I think she will, simply because Annie has had a lot of progress on her bench press that I don't think has fully showed up in competition all the way yet. She still hit a PB at Worlds, but we've seen her bench over 120 in training. So if she can put together her lifts from Worlds, and I think she also went 2 for 3 on squats at Worlds as well. So that was a personal best total. But if you add up all of her best lifts, I think she can definitely go above 550. But obviously, I'm a huge Annie fan, and I am biased, so I have to say that.
Yeah, no, I think she could do it. I think it just depends on the day.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? As it always does. But prep seems like it's been pretty good for the most part. I'm sure she won't have to cut too much to get into the class or at all.
yeah. And
And
was
then
Worlds her first comp with Marcellus as well? So they've had a bit more time working together now as well. Get used to kind of working together, which will obviously all only ever benefit her. So yeah, it'll be really good to see. And I am backing her for 550 as well. 76s. So Sophia is out. She has dispensation because she's injured. On the rankings, I feel like this is a bit of a lie to us. We've got Temi ranked first with 532.5. Ayana ranked second with 530. And then Betty ranked third with 520. Obviously, Betty hits, 560 at Southerns. So I mean, I'd put her in first. I think she's looking insanely strong. And if she can replicate what she did at Southerns, even with no progress, I think that will probably put her quite comfortably in first. But it's also worth mentioning we've got Cleo ranked fourth with 519.5, so only just behind on rankings. She is also young and she is also looking really strong. And then Alice, who you mentioned briefly as well, who's kind of back after a bit of time away. I think she had a back injury, I think. But she's looking really strong. She's looking healthy again with 512.5. So firstly, just the fact that there's so many 76s comfortably in that 500 range is insane to see. In terms of where I've ranked people, as I've kind of already said, I put Betty in first just because of what she did at Southerns and she's just looking super strong. I put Temi in, I put Ayana in second and then Temi in third, mostly because she has to travel. Now she's not living in the UK anymore, is she? So she's got to travel back. Also, I don't know. I mean, she's been in the 76s for over a year now. So in terms of weight and body weight management and stuff, I'm sure it's a lot easier than it kind of was when she first cut down. But as far as I'm aware, she's probably got the hardest cut of the lot. I don't think Cleo will be too far behind podium though. So I think if people miss, she'll potentially be in there. But it just sort of depends. I don't know. I don't feel like Temi posts numbers that much when she posts her training. And she doesn't post. I mean, I've seen her post a few squats lately, but I think that's kind of it.
I think Temi has done her best ever is 562.5 at 79.5 kilos body weight, I want to say. So I've gone with Betty to win. I think that she had a really strong day at Northern, and again, that was her first competition under Lewis as her coach, so they're going to have had more time to work together and refine the process even more. And she has the squat record and the bench record, so I think she can take chips there for sure. But I then have Temi in second because I do believe that she can do more than the 530 or 532.5 that she's nominated with. I think we could, long term in the 76s, we could definitely see her into the 550s with that best total of 562 only being at 79.5. That's not too far above the class, in my opinion. And then for third, I actually hadn't seen Ayana on the list I was looking at, but she does also have a big squat of 205, and that 530 was from March. But I definitely agree that if she makes any mistakes, that Cleo and Alice are right behind her. And I think Cleo is coming up really, really fast in the sport, making a lot of progress. And she was a 69 kilo only lifter last year. So she's still making gains within the new weight class as well.
Yeah, I'm Betty, Temi, and then Ayana. So nothing too crazy on it. I think Temi's cut is going to be more refined now. I know when Tammy first moved up to the 76s, she was trying different ways of making it down, trying to refine that process and get it better. And it's now been maybe 3 or 4 meets at 76, and practicing that cut and refining it, getting it better for her is just going to make her even stronger on the day, even more confident in her performance without that kind of anxiety and worry about making weight. Because once that process gets smoother, it becomes easier. So I'm hopeful for that she does come in and have the day that she should be having as a 76 once she cut down from the 84s, because she should be around, as you say, that kind of 550, 560 mark anyway. And just getting all of those dialed in and being able to perform at her best at the British would be amazing to see, especially with the travel back from Kuwait. It's added travel, but it's not too bad travel wise. Like, we've seen a lot worse at kind of Worlds and things, and Pemi's dealt with internationals in the past. So fingers crossed it doesn't affect her too much.
Yeah. So Carpino, it's 581 to the 76s. Huge total.
I think he can get close to that. I think for sure.
I agree. I think because it's potential. It depends. Like you kind of say, like Temi in theory could well be up there, similar range to where Betty's best is. So I think if the two of them are pretty close on the day and both having really good days, it's just going to be win the battle, right? But if by Betty's second pull she's fairly comfortable, it might. She probably isn't far away from that, at least. Like probably close enough to get a world spot, depending obviously on how every other class does. But I think 581 is big total.
It's a push to put 21 kilos on that Northern's performance.
Yeah, and I definitely think that the total that she put up hopefully will be good enough for a Euro spot, because I feel like 565 would be a very competitive total at Europeans, right? That would nearly be podium. Versus then obviously at Worlds you've got like all the girls going above 600. So
which is nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts.
Okay, next we have the most exciting class of all. The 84s. So on the Sunday we've got the 84s. We have ranked first Zayana with 600, ranked second Melina 555.5, ranked third Holly 502.5. I'm just confused because Rachel's name's not on it. She's been taken off because ranked fourth is me, and I was going to say I was fifth. Ranked fourth is me, 492.5. Rachel's name was on there with 507.5, which is why I was just looking really confused. I mean, at the end of the day, I hope it's not because of her injury that she's pulled out. I will just like to disclaim that, but it makes my life a tiny bit easier at battling for podium if she's not on the list, because she is who I was going to say was the biggest threat for that. We've got Zayana ranked first. Let's just go through this first. So obviously Zayana is clearly in the lead. It's kind of in the same as last year. Zayana first, Melina second. When I had Zayana on the podcast, we were kind of working out Sheffield totals. So I think the 95% of the world record is like 617.5, which obviously doing that at British doesn't do anything in terms of qualification. But we were kind of talking about it then, and it was like, on a good day, like she's not that far away from that. I think she'll comfortably be above 600. She's very reliable lifter. Her training is looking good. She actually posted something recently, which she never posts. So she's posting, things aren't feeling bad. I can imagine her being comfortably like at least 605, 610. I can't remember what she hit at World Games, actually. I haven't made a note of that, but she went above.
I know she did. Didn't she do 607 and a half or just 607 at Worlds? Because obviously she did the deadlift world record, which is insane. And I will say as well, I handled in that 84 kilo session at Worlds. It was so incredibly hot, and everyone was like suffering in terms of their squats because it was so hot, and it was like 8 people. So I think that there would be a performance improvement from the cool climate of England.
At World Games, she did weigh in at 88.6. So she does cut for comps, obviously, normally, but she doesn't normally notice much of a strength impact from her cut. We've spoken about it before. But at 88.6 kilos, she hit 617.5 at World Games. And you were right, at World, it was 607.
That's a pretty standard cut for an elite level 84, I will say as well. They're beasts when it comes to cutting weight because they don't really have the choice to go up.
That's insane.
Yeah. So I'll put Zayana in first, of course, just based off of that. And I'm really excited to see what she does. Like, honestly, when I compete at British, I just watch what the other girls do. I don't really pay attention to what I'm doing. Melina in second. Melina's training has looked really, really good. I feel like she's been hitting numbers in training that she doesn't normally hit kind of this far out. So really excited to see what she does. Would expect at least like chipping her PBs there. I also think it's going to be her last powerlifting meet for a while. I think she's taking a bit of a break. So it'll be good to just see her, and hopefully she actually looks like she's struggling on some lists this time, because she never usually does. Everything always looks really easy. I've put myself in third. I did originally, to be fair, put Rachel in third. I won't even lie, because she's got an insane deadlift. She's still filling out the class, and she's young. She's not on the list, so hopefully there's nothing to do with injury. I think the battle then will be between me and Holly. Although Hetty, I have competed with Hetty before. She is also super strong. I think, again, she's been dealing with injury for a while, but she seems to be healthy now, as far as I've seen. So she'll likely be closing on that 500 as well, I would imagine. But I'm going to back myself for third, because I think I have to. And you both have to agree.
Yeah,
Well,
I was going to say, what Jayne says.
Well, I had Rachel for my third pick as well, because of what you said. With her total was 507, but she weighed like 80 kilos when she did it. So I assumed that if she competed, that we could, maybe see her even go up towards 520, if you're assuming like normal rates of progress. But I'll be honest, I'm not that familiar with Holly's lifting. She did just lift at Home Nations, though, isn't that right?
Yeah, I also realised I forgot to mention, I knew I'd do this. Hannah Andrew in the other flight. So she's in the first flight. She's got a qualifying total of 454. She has been totaling like 500 in training.
Wow.
Someone sent me her reels a couple months ago and was like, she's squatting over 200. I can't remember what she's benching, and she's deadlifting like 210, like somewhat regularly. Like, she's had this unbelievable surge. I think did she do Welsh champs possibly? So I think obviously we'll know what she's done if they do keep it as 2 flights. That gives us the advantage. But I just wanted to also shout out that she is probably going to be 500 plus, providing everything is like to standard and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to have to be whoever makes the podium, you have to beat each other, and you also have to make sure that you clear the total from the B group as well.
Yep.
That's very exciting. Again, it's so nice to see like depth in all of these classes. Again, as we go towards like the heavier weight classes, sometimes we could be lacking that depth, but to see like the, as you said, even 5 there is going to be over 500 in the class is really cool.
It's a weird one how they split it between the 2 flights. Just looking at it, that unless a 352 is a misprint, that there isn't.
Yeah, I had this conversation with Lewis when they first released it, because his other lifter, Abigail, so she's in a separate flight to me, but her total in theory would put her into the second flight. But I think they've just done people that automatically qualified. So Terry won Northern Irish, but I think they've just put those in like the second group for some reason. Rankings. But now that there's only 12 of us, if one person doesn't show up, I would imagine that as one flight.
Yeah, one big flight, surely.
Because I'm not sure, to be honest, that that's the fairest thing to have podium contenders. Yeah, because they're at a competitive disadvantage completely.
Yeah, huge disadvantage.
I also really like quick flights because I train like that at home, and no one else likes it. So I'm happy with the 6 women. Let's make it a 3-woman flight.
There's no point having 2 flights of 6. Like, it's too fast for pretty much everyone. So hopefully it gets condensed into a flight, and I think we'll see Ziana, Melina, and then third place coming in, whoever that might be. You can't say there's a lady in the A flight who's totaling 500 weekly.
For every other class, Ben. I need to hear specifically.
I didn't know about Hannah.
Your third choices for the 84s.
I think you'll beat Holly. And Holly's lifting. I love watching Holly lift because every deadlift looks RPE 11, and she adds 10 kilos, and you go, it's never going. And then it goes, and she adds another 10, never going, and it goes. And I love that. But I think with how training's been, and it seems like it's going very well at the moment for you, I think you'll be there. And with how you are on comp day, and you're used to these kind of bigger competitions now, or at least you should be by this point, like you've done enough of them. And with Lewis there on the day as well, like I think you'll be in a really comfortable situation to lift well. Yeah. But if Hannah is totaling 500 fairly regularly, that might be a problem for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't done the maths of her lifts, but the ones I've seen, she is definitely like, I'm pretty sure she's lifted more than me in training. So that'll be fine. But I don't know how new she is either. I don't know how many comps she's done. I literally got sent her reel like 2 months ago when she was suddenly totaling way more than me. And I was like,
I'm going to assume she's fairly new if she's added like 50 kilos to her total in a short space of time.
That's insane.
I think so. I will say, I think my, like, just for my own, like, knowing what I'm like, and I was saying this to my boyfriend the other day, like, I'm definitely the strongest I've ever been. It's whether or not on the day I can be bothered to try, which probably sounds really stupid, but I've noticed this with my last couple of meets. Like, I've just not really cared when I'm there.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know I can squat something really good if I can actually make myself grind through a squat.
Yeah.
But part of me mentally is sometimes just like, do I really want to do that? So as long as I'm feeling competitive, I back myself to third. But we'll see what mood I'm in.
Of the days to try hard, it seems like it's probably one of the best days.
I would agree. Yeah.
Especially paying 100. Remind me how much entry costs, and then I'll try.
£20.
That's all you need to remind me of on the day, to be fair.
Yeah. Hannah, it would be Hannah's third meet internationals, by the way.
Wow. That's insane.
So qualified for the Scottish, won the Scottish. I came second at the Scottish, and then got internationals.
I would imagine as well, Scottish reffing will be fairly similar to British as well.
Oh yeah, it'll be very good.
Yeah, and she's quite light as well, 80.2 at her last meet. So
yeah,
we won't talk about the fact that I've got the biggest cut out of all of us either. Let's move on to the 84 plus. I'm actually really excited for the 84 plus.
So good. I
think first and second place battle is going to be insane. So we've got a Quinn ranked first currently with 618.5. Toyosi ranked second with 615.5. I haven't made a note of their most recent totals because they did English together, didn't they, and competed against each other, where they actually placed. Was it Toyosi who came out on top at that one, and then a Quinn second? So just going through the rest of the nominations as well. So if you look at nominations, it looks pretty clear that Dominique would come third with 572.5. But I had a look at her Instagram. It looks like she's been pretty badly injured. So actually, I think her and Mel are probably going to be somewhat similar on totals. It depends, obviously, how Dominique's feeling on the day, how confident she is to push. But I think she has been quite badly affected. I don't know if I made a note, but it looked like her squats have taken quite a big hit, and her deadlifts. I think it might have been her back. But I think the battle for third is probably going to be quite close. I think also, depending on if she's still going to be in pain, she might just not even care about placing and just basically, turn up, do the meet. So I don't think third place is going to be as clear cut as it seems, which makes it exciting for a battle. Because you've also then got, I don't think Caitlin Davies is doing it anymore. I think I saw that she pulled out. We've got Rebecca Coggle, 507.5, Catriona, 500. So actually, the battle for third could end up being super close between quite a few of them, depends on their progress. So I think that's really exciting. In terms of my predictions, I've put a Quinn first because I can't remember if it was 270 or 275 that she pulled the other day, but whichever it was, 275, and it was literally nothing. Like, I've never seen a 275 deadlift move like that before. I think it will be really close anyway between her and Toyosi. Like, Toyosi's looking so strong as well, but it's just the fact that a Quinn's deadlift is that little bit further ahead that she will just load what she needs. And judged on the 275, I think she has God knows what's left. So I think she'll just load what she needs, and I think she'll get it. Like, she could probably pull 300 at this point. I wouldn't even be surprised. And then I put Mel in third, mostly because of Dominique being injured. Obviously, we'll just see how she feels on the day. But those are my predictions. Yeah.
I don't think I can call it between the two because best totals are actually only half a kilo apart from each other. So I have Aquin has 638 and Toyosi did 638.5 at Western Euros. So that was only 10 weeks ago or so, I think. And she missed a 270.5 pull at that. So yeah, it's honestly, it's literally whoever goes 3 for 3 on deadlifts. Like, they're so close with each other. It's going to be all the way down to the last pull. So I can't pick. When people are nominated half kilo apart from each other, I'm sorry, like I can't pick.
I think they're so evenly matched.
Decline.
Decline.
Yeah.
Like, they're so close on all 3 lifts as well.
Close.
Yeah, like, it's crazy.
Even down to the like, I do think a Quinn's probably got a bigger deadlift, but it depends on the day. If her deadlift's feeling slightly off, then Toyosi will just pull what she needs. Like, it could go either way. But literally, squat and bench, they're all within a few kilos of each other.
It's not as if one of them has like a really big squat and then one of them is really far ahead on deadlift that they actually have that advantage. They're probably going to be taking pretty similar jumps. So again, we could be looking at things like body weight advantage and lot number actually making a big impact on who wins.
Yeah, it's again, it will probably come down to the handling on deadlifts and who's willing to bite the bullet first, who's willing to do what.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's difficult because Toyosi will likely pull first. Like, she has a slightly lower deadlift, but whether she can actually pull enough to push a Quinn past her limit. If a Quinn's deadlift shows up how it has in training with that 275, like easily 285 to 290 looks on the cards, but we don't know if that deadlift's been done with squats beforehand or whether that's kind of a deadlift day by itself. Like, obviously these things kind of tie into it.
Yeah.
If I was gonna pick, I'd probably pick Toyosi. I'd probably pick Toyosi.
You could just decline like me.
I refuse to decline. I'm gonna pick. I think it would be Toyosi, but I think it would be like a half kilo win. If the Quinn's going to be a half kilo, it will be with Peach handling a Quinn. I presume he is anyway. Like, it should be the right number, like perfectly, to be as close as possible, but to win.
Yeah, I agree with what you said there about, I think it's going to be who shows their hand first, because they're probably both going to do second deadlifts and then put in bluffs. And then it's going to be, okay, who wants to drop and pull first? Like, who actually wants to do it?
Little game of chicken.
Yeah, literally. But again, like, these are world-class deadlifts that we're talking about here. The world record is 290? It's
That, yeah.
Nat Bubs.
Bubs.
Yeah, I think it's about 290. So, like, we're talking about 270 kilos. It's insane. It's absolutely crazy. And isn't the European record? Does Aquin have the European record? Because she had a chip on her total from Euros.
I think I haven't got it up in front of me, but I think that sounds right. It must be, yeah, if she's got it from Euros. I don't think anyone will have broken it since.
I obviously did 261 at Westerns, and I'm not sure it was just a Western European record. Because I don't think, because Christian coach said Christian wouldn't put in for a Western.
So yeah, Aquin did 268 at Euros. So Toyosi broke the Western European record, and then she was pulling for the European record on her third with the 270.5 that she missed. Yeah.
Yeah. I think also worth saying, so Carpino for this class is 680, which is obviously super high, but think about the standard.
I love our shock faces every time we hear the Carpino.
No, but I was just going to say, think about the standard of the 84 plus around the world right now, okay?
Yeah.
Like, these Carpinos are based on, like, what is it, like, roughly top 3 at Worlds.
Which is over 700, right?
The fact that we have 2 84 plus women, they're probably not at 680 quite yet, but give them another year. That's insane to think. Like, when you look back at British, like, results from British 2-3 years ago, like, it's come so far, and to have 2 women in the 84s or 84 plus, that close to each other, battling, getting closer and closer to the Carpino, because, like, obviously these Carpinos are high. Like, that's the whole point. Like, we want the most competitive team possible, and there's a lot of classes where we've not got people even close. To have 2 women in the 84 plus that close is crazy.
I think 84 plus on the whole has just boomed, like, in the past couple of years, and I'm not sure whether it's because of, like, Sunita and Brittany going head to head, but then, like, you also have Natalie and is it Luciane from Australia? Both of them are incredible. Like, yeah, it's just, as a class, it's been really cool to see it, like, grow, and it's honestly one of the most competitive and exciting classes on the women's side now as well.
100%. That wraps up the women's side. So we'll move on to the men. Do the same thing again, go through weight class order. I think that's the easiest way to go. So starting with the under 59s. So we've only got 4 lifters in this class. We've got, to be fair, again, it's super close, especially for top 3. So ranked first, we've got Salman with 435, Samuel with 432.5, James 430, and then we've got TJ ranked with 320. So looking at this, I've put James in first. He has hit 440 previously, which was around December time last year. So that was about a year ago now. Obviously, that's plenty of time to grow into that. And looking at his body weight at previous meets, he sits comfortably in the class. Obviously, a year he could have filled the class, but he was around 56-ish this time last year, which if you've had a whole year off, and you didn't fill the class this time last year, like I think that's a pretty good advantage to have. Samuel, I've put in second because he's got the bigger pull. I think he'll load what he needs to, and it'll be close enough to not be kind of completely out of reach. And then Salman, I think, will be ahead on subtotal, which is where Samuel will then pull. It looks like he's growing into the class over time, and his total is kind of steadily increasing. So I think he'll be in for a PB total there as well. And I think it'll be a really good class, really good battle, and all three will be pretty close.
I don't have, a whole pile of. I actually couldn't find James on Open Powerlifting, so I put him as default third because of that. But based on what you said, he can go into first.
His surname was spelled wrong on the entries. I think, unless I looked at the wrong James. I might have looked at the wrong James.
There was 2 N's and 2 L's, and I really felt like there was a lot going on. But I did put Samuel ahead of Salman, as you did as well, just because of the rate of progress. Samuel seems to just be like consistently like adding on to his total. So yeah, I think I'm pretty close there, but I will move James into first instead of third.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. James, Samuel, and then Salman coming in third. I feel like the 59 class, now that Ishtiak's left it for the 66ers, has become a lot quieter than it seems to have been in the last couple of years. Like the 59s historically in open lifting for BP haven't been particularly strong over the last kind of 4 years from memory. But it's nice that there's a battle there, but it's a shame that we're not seeing as many people kind of pushing that 500 at 59 of the numbers in the class being only 4 lifters. Like it'd be nice to see more people kind of pushing that weight class, especially with the new kind of entry model we have for the British. That if we could get that, in other words, like 5, 6, 7, 8, and kind of have it as a full flight of 59s, it might encourage a little bit more growth in the class.
Is there any 66s that you think could cut down into the class in GB?
Not looking at that list, no.
I think as well, though, maybe. We've got, like, with the new qualifying system, like you kind of said, Ben, that's a good opportunity for the juniors to try out competing in the open as well. I know there's a couple of 59 juniors and stuff, but they've obviously opted not to do open this year. But with like juniors being pushed back to May, depending obviously on what the schedule looks like next year and for 2027, it could be a really good experience for them to compete with the open 59s and potentially place, like potentially podium as well. And definitely have room to fill the class. And now that the qualifying system is how it is, the priority will go to the top 14 in that class before they fill the extra spaces.
Yeah, I think we'll see it more. I think more junior 59s will come across because it's such a big gap between juniors and the open, as you say. And if you can get that experience, I think it's massively undervalued, those kind of meets, because it feels like a huge occasion. You're turning up against the open lifters. You're a junior lifter, kind of get amongst it, see what everyone else is doing, how they're warming up, kind of experience the day. And then you take that into juniors in May and you'll feel so comfortable at that meet.
I think even just like the kind of maturity difference as well, like juniors can be very chaotic, like even just going there as a ref, it just feels a bit more chaotic a lot of the time. And I know it does for a lot of the lifters and handlers and stuff as well. If they go and get the experience competing at open with people that have competed a bit more, probably got more experienced coaches there and stuff as well, especially obviously with the new system, I think it would help them then be able to just focus on themselves at juniors and not focus on anything else going on. And it's just invaluable experience, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, 66s. I'm excited for this one. So ranked first, we've got Joey with 650.5. Second, we've got Ben Grant, 630. And then third, we've got Ishtiak with 627.5. Looking at nominations, they are fairly clear. The next nomination is Ibnu with 567.5. There's a bit of a gap there. I'm very much looking forward to this one. I've put Joey in first. He hit 665 at Silent Worker recently, which was literally just a few weeks ago, wasn't it? And I think he looks like he's been a really good tower training in the last kind of 18 months or so. I put Ben in second. He's had a bit more time to settle into the class. He seems to really suit 66. I don't know what his cut is like or anything like that, but I think he's been looking... I feel like I've missed something looking at Ben's face.
Well, I coach Ben, so I know what his body weight's been like and how training's been. Okay. 66 does not suit him.
Okay, maybe I'll change my nominations then, because Ishtiak's just moved up, hasn't he? So I'll put him in third. Please don't hate me. I'm still not convinced on his squat depth. It's looking better in some videos, but in some, I'm just not convinced.
Yeah.
If he can, based on what you just said about Ben, if Ishak can get all his squats in, I'll put him in second, especially because he's had time to kind of grow into the class. But I've currently got it as Joey, Ben, Ishak.
I have it. Joey, Ishak, Ben. Sorry, Ben.
No,
I don't know your boy.
you're entitled to your opinion.
But the only thing I will say is he hasn't competed in a year, if that's correct. So there definitely is time to build. But just with Ishak moving up and also having the bigger deadlift, I think that puts him in a good position to be able to pull what he needs. But obviously, if he misses lifts, it could fall a different way.
Yeah, I'm Joey, Ben, Ishtiak, surprisingly. Joey's just been on a tear of training. I don't think anyone's catching him. Ben's not going to hate me for saying that. Joey just seems like he's had that run now and is like the 66 in GB. I don't think anyone will challenge that for a little bit. Ben's had an interesting year of just life, really, but is not designed to be 66 kilos anymore. The man holds too much muscle mass. I had a similar thing at 59 where he just started eating and just grew just a ridiculous amount of muscle mass on him. And so we've had I think our heaviest through the year is probably sitting about 72 kilos comfy, like not like pushing food, not doing anything differently day to day. But we're back down now and within range for a cut, 66, but it'll just be interesting how that affects him.
Mhm.
But as we say, Ishtiak, much bigger deadlifter than Ben. Squat depth, as we say, and just how the occasion comes to him. Like he's done internationals, but just how he feels on the day coming into Birmingham. Yeah, and see how he goes. I think it'll be really interesting though. I think the three of them will put on a good show. I think Joey's there to break records and try to get himself kind of back on the international platform again. I don't think the Carpino is feasible for Joey. I think it's 7 some.
695. That was my next question.
695.
So again, maybe a European level total would be doable for him if he can repeat. He did that 665 going 7 for 9 as well.
Yeah.
So arguably there's more room there with the different attempt calls. If he could, maybe he can end up in the 670 range and that will get him a Euros.
Yeah, the Euros is
potentially
633.
Well,
I think
there you go.
it's really blurry on my screen, by the way. So if the numbers are wrong, like I apologize. I can't make it any clearer. But so he should be good for the Euros. So I think if he feels like he's clear on the day, looking at openers, he'll probably try gun for the Open Worlds because why would you not? Like if it's there, go for it.
Yeah, no, I second that. I'm just having a little look for the 74s. So we've got Samju ranked first, 712.5. Krishan, oh no, you've got your hand up.
Krishan's not doing it anymore.
Okay, that impacts my predictions, but that's fine. Makes my predictions
could have texted us beforehand.
Yeah,
I'm not telling you beforehand. I'm not releasing that.
We've got Jack ranked second with 685.5. Kibria third, 685. Scott Walton, worth mentioning as well, 670.5. So I had Sam in first regardless. So Krishan not being there confirms that for me. I think Sam's a pretty reliable lifter. He lifts the standard as far as I remember. And I think he's probably comfortably first there. I did originally have Kibria in third when I thought Krishan was competing. So I'll bump Kibria up to second.
Yeah.
Let me load the nominations back up. So I wanted to mention Scott. So that Jack and Kibria on nominations are super close. And then Scott is 670.5. I was going to say Scott looks super strong in training, and I wouldn't be surprised if he finds his way on the podium. But I did also see that he walks around at about 79 kilos. Big bencher, and I know he wants to go for the bench record. He's pretty young. Will the cut impact his bench? I hope not. But also, that's a big cut to make 74. So I don't know. And that was I think it was about 4 weeks out he was weighing that. I could be wrong, but it wasn't long ago that I saw he was weighing about 79. But he is looking really strong. So potentially going to find his way onto the podium there, which would be really cool because I think he's quite young as well. He did Uni Worlds. Can't remember how old he is though. But my predictions are Sam first. I think Kibria second, Jack third.
I have similar. I did have Krishan in third because I had Kibria for the upset.
That's biased. That's what that is. That's bias. There's nothing there.
I think depending on the lifts that he can put together on the day, that maybe Kibria could do 700. That would be a 260 squat, a 140 bench, and a 300 kilo deadlift, which is him matching the 300 that he did. So I think that he can be within that range. I have put Sam in first simply because on paper he has the bigger total, and we also haven't seen him compete in a bit. So if he's been able to progress that, we could see him in the 720s. But it did look like last year he was kind of 710, 710, 712. He was kind of putting up a similar total, and the year before that he was kind of 690, 695. Again, he's someone who carries a lot of muscle mass. I assume he's, cutting into the class. So obviously that can limit the amount of gains that you can make. But as long as he can go 9 for 9 and at least match his previous best, if not put up new bests, I think he should be pretty safe in first.
Yeah, I think Sam's pretty clear there. If Krishan was healthy and competing, I'd obviously back Krishan first. And training was going great for it. We just come off the back of Westons where he didn't have the best day, and then doubled, I think it was 5 kilos under his all-time PR at like an RP 7.5 for him. So we're looking really good coming into it, but just he's had to pull out from the competition. But for Sam, the Euros, and I'll keep going about Euros Carpino, but for these guys in first and second, third, it's really important that 715 is the Carpino for Euros. And if his best is 712, he's right on it.
Yeah.
And I think securing that and not overextending himself on any of the lifts is probably going to be the strategy, because I don't think anyone can catch him as long as he's healthy.
Yeah. And makes attempts, right?
Yeah. He doesn't need to push to all out maxes, I don't think, on anything to get there. But he still might, just because there's numbers available. He might have a goal total or something like that outside of Europeans. But good to see. And then, sorry, I've lost my list. Kibria second, Jack in third. Yeah. And Jack's been around. I thought I'd recognize the name. Jack has been around for a long time. He's first comp was in 2017.
Damn.
So he's been lifting as long as I have, and I thought I recognized the name. But he's lifted for so long. He's very consistent. And so I think he'll be up around that kind of 690. But I don't know if Kibria's deadlift just takes him away from Jack right at the end.
Yeah.
Like, I think that will actually be a lot closer than people think between Jack and Kibria. Just because Kibria's got that massive deadlift.
Yeah.
People probably edge that way, as we all have. But I don't know. I think Jack could be sneaky here and get in with a little second place at the end of it. But it'll just be interesting to see on the day.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but one of my favorite things when I'm doing the preview shows and like looking up people is when I see a name I recognize and I'm like, why do I know that name? And I see that they've just been slowly progressing since like 2017, 2018 and just keep going and going. And now we're talking about them being on the podium.
Yeah. He's cut down from the 83s. That's why I didn't recognize his name in the 74s. He's cut down a class.
Is this his first time doing it, or has he done a few comps at it?
Since 2023, but I remember him being an 83.
Yeah.
And so didn't recognize it in the 74s.
Back when you were an 83, way back when.
Back when I was an 83. Jeez. Horrible time. Horrible time.
That's a good segue though, because the next class is the 83s. And I didn't know that Jurins was competing until I listened to Sabado yesterday, and I confirmed it with you earlier, Ben, because I thought Jurins just had dispensation. But he does not. And I think, Ben, that you should take the lead on the 83s, because clearly you know more than I do.
Oh, Lord. Well, Jurins did have dispensation as per the entry kind of list. He'd been granted dispensation for the meet. But with the Carpino and the entry, the way it is, if you're not competing at the British and just have it, then you are into secondary selection. So if 8 people had hit the Carpino, Jurins wouldn't be going to Worlds.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you can't be eligible
Europeans
for like first round selection if you do dispensation.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So Sophia in the 76ers, which didn't really touch on, she isn't eligible in the primary selection.
Yes.
Only in the secondary. So Jurins has now decided to compete. But the 83 total I don't think is that high for Carpino wise for him and Ade.
No, it's 816, which
816.
for both of them at this point.
Yeah.
860 or 816?
816. 816.
Wow.
So they don't really need to push at this. Will they push? I'm pretty sure both of them are going to go all out against each other.
I think they'll push each other, right? You know, Journes is in the lead, but he can't really afford to take his foot off the gas because Ade is there. So I think it's going to be a really, really good battle. And how cool is it that we have like world level lifters? Like this is world level performances going on at the British.
Yeah. Ade's under new management.
Yes. I work with Marcellus
he
as
has
well,
a coach.
He has a coach.
It'll be really interesting.
Yeah,
it will. Also, question: what did Ade hit at Avancus? Because I think was he injured? I know he hit a bench PB. Okay,
which
that
matches
puts them even closer. Yeah,
it matches his best. He was 84.4, but it's worth noting that it was an afternoon weigh-in. Yeah. So I think 84.4 afternoon weight, like that's not that far away from 83. He did 865 with missing his last deadlift.
Yeah.
So again, it's a thing with Ade of if he can make his last deadlifts, you know, it's all to play for. But I also just think Journes has been incredibly consistent recently. He's been doing amazing under like Christian as his coach and just continuing to reach new heights so far into his powerlifting career, which is just, it's so cool to see.
Yeah.
Can you pick between them though?
I back Journes for first.
I put Journes first. I did.
Yeah. I think it's hard not to, right?
Yeah.
Like Journes, he's just been so consistent and posting PBs.
Yeah.
Through this kind of latter half of the year as well. It just seems like he's on that wave.
Yeah, I was about to say it really feels like he has momentum right now. It's like, you know, coming second at Worlds, then winning World Games, which was just against Chell Backlund, like incredible achievement. He's going to Sheffield again. It just feels like he's got momentum right now, which I think is a really powerful thing when you do have it, can just push you on another level again.
Yeah.
Yeah, even just looking at open powerlifting, he rarely misses anymore as well. Like his lift, he's so consistent on meet day. He's got the momentum behind him and probably the added confidence as well. Like they don't have to worry about the Carpino, but I think out of pride, they're not going to want, like they're going to want to fight each other, aren't they? So as long as they're both healthy, I think they'll be good. Who are we backing for third?
Oh, God.
That was an interesting noise.
My heart says Hubbard, like, please, Owen, please come third. Like, I have to back Owen, like, just because I love Owen. Like, I've loved Owen since I've started powerlifting. Like, he was, like, as I say, like, Mr. British Powerlifting, him and Tony, for a while there. And over the past few years has kind of dropped lower in the rankings, hasn't been making as much progress as he wanted to, like injuries, things like that, like pec tears, etc. The change of the bench rules obviously being massive to start with.
He still has the bench press world record though. Joe didn't beat it at Worlds,
which is nuts. And like he's been so good for the sport and bringing people into it and being so positive around a lot of it that I'd want him to come third. But Tyree is huge. Like if you've seen Tyree in person, he's jacked. So that's hard. My heart says Owen, but my head says Tyree.
Okay, I think we'll all just put Owen just to wish it into existence.
I think I agree there. He did do 781.5 at World Champs, but he was weighing 92 kilos in the 93s. So I was like, oh, 93. Maybe he was a light 93, but I think his weighing was 92.7. So that is a full 93 kilo
That's
total.
A full 93.
Unfortunately. And then isn't Tyree around the 780 mark himself, I believe. Yeah. But he hasn't competed again since I think he did Cold Blood Classic in April and he did the same total that he did at the British. Okay. So I think it will be tight for sure between the two of them.
Yeah, that'd be a really good watch. Moving on to I'm getting really confused scrolling through the schedule because the men and the women just keep switching around. I was going to go straight to 95. 93s. So Christian ranked first, 878.5. We've got Will Pickering with dispensation. And then we've got Maxwell ranked second then with 850. James Adcock, 825 in third. And then Jonathan Lewis, fourth with 815.5. Then we've got Jay and Nathan both at 800 just below that. And yeah. It's going to be... It's going to be good.
It's going to
I-
be very, very good.
I will always back Christian to win. He's posting that he's hurt and broken, but he's always hurt and broken. I will still back him to win. Maxwell second, and then I think I put Jonathan in third. I think it's going to be close between him and James.
Yeah.
I think he has a slightly bigger pull. I think that was all it came down to when I was putting my predictions down.
And also, have you seen the video of that pull?
Insane.
No. Oh,
I think he could, if he was given a shot at pulling the world record of, I think it's 374, Chance Mitchell's record. That Christian also
It's
attempted at Worlds, by the way, and almost got.
3.5, isn't it?
There you go. So you need 374 to
Something.
beat it.
Yeah.
But I think, I think Jonathan will pull what he needs, and I back him to pull something very, very big. It's whether James can get his third deadlift, because he had issues at the British last year with his lockout, and then he missed his last deadlift at Southern Qualifier. So if he can pull in that 350, 355 range that he's been attempting, it's definitely going to be harder for Jonathan. But if he misses, the door is wide open, I think.
Yeah. Christian is, as Sean said, posting about being hurt for Christian is like a consistent thing at this point. He's been hurt for the last 4 years, and whenever he's pain free, he comes and puts massive progress onto his total. And you almost don't want to believe that he's actually hurt at this stage, because I want him to be healthy. Like the total he needs to go to Worlds is 84.5. Like he needs to PB his total by almost 10 kilos to get there. And with him saying he's hurt, I really don't want it to be true, so we can get back to Worlds again. And I think there's enough spaces that he'd managed to get there, but I'm not sure. But I really want it. It's for him to be able to go back to get redemption for everything that was that final pull at Worlds.
I know, right? It's worth noting that he did 865 at Worlds. His second pull was 345.
Yeah.
And with 374, I think it would have gotten him 894 kg, which is just crazy. He would have knocked Jonathan Kaiko off the podium, which is like
that's the level of it.
Come on.
Yeah,
but that's the level of athlete that he is. So I fully believe that he can do what he needs to do to win, for sure.
Yeah, I think Maxwell is pretty clear for second, as long as he's not hurt. I haven't seen him post in a little bit, but I remember the previous post, he looked like he was going pretty well. But I don't think he's quite there to catch Christian if Christian is on that 885 kind of path, if he isn't that badly hurt. And then third place, I've got James. James has been lifting for so long and knows his body so well at this point. I think he'll put it all together. Because there was talk of him not doing the British before it, and now he's got to a point where I believe he's going to be healthy enough, and they're all talking, and I'm sure that James is going to have a good day. I just don't think that Jonathan will have enough on the subtotal. And he'll be able to load up, but I don't think he'll have enough on the subtotal to get there.
next class, 105. Ben Pape for the win.
Ben Pape for the win.
I'll just run through nominations. So nominated first, we've got Nathaniel, 895. We've got Sanchez second, 882.5. Ben in third, 865. CJ in fourth, 840.5. Then there is a little bit of a gap. I am very excited for this class.
Yeah.
I think Ben is going to PB all of his lifts. He's going to disagree with me because I made the joke the other day and he disagreed instantly. But you've got less pressure. You're having fun. You're taking a little bit of a 4-week break from rugby.
Yeah.
Powerlifting hasn't been your main focus. And I think that is going to be the key to you having a really good day. I haven't actually put you in first though.
No, yeah, please don't put me first or second. Like there's no way.
No, genuinely how I think it'll probably play out. I think Nathaniel will win. I mean, he's filled the class, but obviously he's still fairly new in this class, still young, and his lifts are clean. Like all 3 lifts, I think are just super clean. And I just think, he looks super strong. Sanchez second. I think he'll probably load up for first on his final pull. He can pull the world, but my biggest thing with Sanchez is just lifting standards. I think he looks super strong, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up winning. I think it will just come down to that final pull. But obviously, there's issues with squat depth before as well. But so I'm just kind of going by who is more likely to make 9 attempts, and I think that's Nathaniel. Third place, I have put you, Ben. I think it will be close between you and CJ, but you do have the bigger pull. And I think you have the bigger pull, but your face is telling me different.
It's historically, yes. At the moment, maybe not, but
We'll
historically,
see.
yes.
But I do genuinely think though, like, you're not putting pressure on yourself, so I think that probably will help you perform better. But there's no pressure,
Done. 0.
Yeah, literally none. But no, that is my predictions. But I mean, CJ could come third, Sanchez could win. I could be swayed either way on all of this.
So the only thing, I just looked it up there because I actually didn't get a chance to make my notes on this class. Nathaniel's 895 is with him not getting the final pull of 388, which was to pull for the win, and beat Reagan. So he had a second deadlift of 360, and then he attempted 388.5. So I think we can safely say that he is capable of over 900 kilos. And also there was a bit of a strained situation with his bench attempts on that day. So it'll be a bit more straightforward this time.
Situation.
I forgot about that.
Well, I mean, he actually crushed his 212 bench when he took it on his second. So
yeah.
I think this time with, 3 straightforward bench attempts, he can continue to make more progress. So
I couldn't remember the jump, so I just double checked it. 192 to 212. But
and
like
then he
got it.
smoked it. Like I was like, put 217
if you can keep your head in that situation.
Now I need to look up Sanchez's total, because hasn't he pulled 420 in the gym? Is that what I saw last week?
Yes.
Which is just crazy.
Ben Pape for the win.
420 deadlift is insane.
So Sanchez's best total that he's nominated with, 882.5, is with only a 390. I say only, that doesn't need to be, but he has pulled 400 in competition before. Obviously he did it at Lithuania in Worlds. So we know he's capable of pulling 4 in a full power comp after squatting. He pulled 405 at the team competition super training, but obviously that was just coming into deadlift. Yeah. So like, I wouldn't count him out for sure. I think it's going to be tight between the two of them, because he can load what he needs for the win. And just knowing that best total is not with his best deadlift definitely gives him a bit more room for sure.
Yeah, he will just go for it. He will just go for the win. Based on last year as well, he missed his opener, I believe, on soft lockout, and then jumped 20-30 kilos anyway. Like, no care in the world, I'll just do it heavier. And then jumped up to 290, and I think it was 408.5 or something was the final attempt.
Yes, it was. Well done. Great memory.
It's almost like I was there. But yeah, Sanchez will go for the win. Like, there's no reason for him to do anything else apart from to get after Nathaniel. Nathaniel will have a much bigger subtotal. You get into that 8-for-8 situation with both of them, and you just see what's there. Nathaniel's deadlifters looked very good. He did 900 in training before Junior Worlds.
Yeah.
But that's with I think it was 370 that was just starting to roll out of his hand.
Yeah, I didn't think that was the cleanest lift, the 370. Yeah. But then actually on the day in Junior Worlds, all of his lifts were good. So, yeah.
And that's the only kind of, if you want to say, chink in his armor, is that final deadlift going to start rolling on Nathaniel if he has to load up a decent amount. I don't think he will.
And that's what you have to think about as well, is he's going to pull before Sanchez, right? So obviously the goal is going to be to try load a deadlift that they think is big enough to push him past his limit. And then it's going to have to be the big enough deadlift that he can also execute as well.
Yeah, this is it. And Owen, coaching Nathaniel, has a very busy flight of lifters and has pulled in a lot of help for it. But there are going to be little bits of distraction elsewhere, because Owen coaches in this flight Nathaniel, CJ, Andrew Wallace, and I think there was one more as well in there. So Owen's got 3 or 4 lifters in the 105s going on at the same time.
And important lifts as well. Like, obviously CJ is going to be trying to beat you to come third.
So you still haven't given your prediction yet, though. I noticed you've kind of missed on this one.
I'm not going to give predictions on class where there's people right in front of me. I just don't think that's fair.
You can say. I think it will turn out the way it is on paper. But I think if it's very difficult to say this because Sean is reffing the flight. But if the refs are not on point, they need to be on point for this flight. Like there is a jury as well, and I looked at the jury and I'm very happy with the jury.
Okay.
But the refereeing needs to be on point because both Sanchez and CJ have had issues with squat depth, bum moving on the bench, and soft lockouts and deadlifts. And I think if we had more lenient reffing, there's a point where those two could total so much that myself and Nathaniel will be disadvantaged by lifting to standard. If that makes sense.
I just don't think that's going to happen though, because if anything, I think the reffing at the British is like very, very strict. Like we'll obviously talk about Mo when we get onto the 120s, but like his bench press last year was one of the strictest calls I've seen in terms of elbows and stuff like that.
That'll be up to me this year.
That's
I
up
am
to you.
chief referee. I am a fair ref. I'm a good ref. I keep wanting to make a joke about how I'll take bribes, but I don't want like Adam Riley to hear that and be like, "You cannot ref this fight."
But I think fair reffing is also holding people to the right standard at a national level competition as well.
Yeah,
No,
100%. Like I don't like imagine. Let's say Sanchez is squatting high and then he goes to Worlds and squats high. Like the last thing I would want is for someone to squat high at comp and then go to the next level of comp and have a terrible day because they're just not used to those standards. No, I don't worry, Ben. The reffing will be fantastic. I don't know who else is reffing with me, but it'll be great.
This is just my general thing for the whole British, though. It isn't just on the 105 flight. Like the reffing should be to the same standard as Worlds. We should be treating it like Worlds because we're prepping people to go there.
I think with the change in the way they're doing British as well, like they are making it more of like an elite event. Like they're having limited spots. They need to have the reffing to that same standard of you've earned your spot here. You have to, earn your total. We can't just be like, oh, but it's your first British. You can have that. Like it needs to be fair.
And when yours will be as well, you're like you've got how many people watching over you?
Yeah, six now per platform because they didn't have a jury to start with, but they found the referees to be able to do it now.
Oh wow. Yeah, I think we're just at the point where you absolutely need to have juries at national level competitions. Like wins and losses are on the line here. Big things are on the line. International qualification. Yeah. It's definitely needed.
It needs to be done.
I have a question for this flight. So Carpino 9:14. Let's say Nathaniel gets there. Is Sanchez pulling to beat Nathaniel, or is Sanchez pulling to secure a spot on the Worlds team? I'm assuming winner is guaranteed the spot, but I would imagine if Sanchez pulls for 9:14, he will qualify, right? Even if he places second with that. Which is he going to prioritize?
Okay.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with what. Well, you said last year, like he missed his opener and he just went up kilos. So I think he's a guy who puts it on the line. It's my assumption.
He is. If he doesn't just go for the win in that scenario, I would be very surprised. Like I would question him afterwards, like immediately afterwards, about what he was doing if he didn't just go for the win. Because I think it's not an ego way, but it's personal pride, right? You're turning up to win nationals. Like you're not turning up to come second and go to Worlds. You're turning up to win nationals to go to Worlds. And I think he'd feel so much worse coming second and going to Worlds than missing and just not going for it, if that makes sense. The way around. You know what I'm saying with that. But like I expect him and Nathaniel to just balls to the wall, go for the win.
Yeah. And especially when he has pulled 420 in the gym. Yeah. I can imagine him, let's just say Nathaniel goes 9 for 9 and he needs something like above 410. In his mind, he's like, well, I pulled 420, so put it on and let's go.
I think 430 would be the cap for him to load. Like I genuinely believe he will load whatever he needs, as long as it's not 440 plus.
Yeah,
that's
I agree. I agree.
Whether it moves is a whole other question, but I believe he'll load it and go for it, and it will be a decent attempt at it.
I'm just excited that I had the best seat in the house to watch it all as well.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
Yeah. I'm really excited for that one. Okay, another one I'm very excited for is the 120. I don't have a lot of notes on this one because we don't need them at this point, do we? Like, it's just going to be insane. So going by rankings, we've got Josh ranked first with 945.5. Mo ranked second with 9:30. Nonzo ranked third with 9:30. It's going to be a battle between them for the podium. Those totals are not, I haven't actually got their most recent totals in front of me, but they are absolutely not accurate.
So
What did Nonzo hit?
988. It should be 987 and a half because I don't think he was supposed to be allowed to pull 415.5, but I mean, it's such a big deadlift that 415 and a half to him, like the guy jumps like 60 kilos in training.
It's insane.
But yeah, it's 988, so he is well and above what he has listed on that. And I think so is Josh's total from Junior Worlds the 945.5?
I think
Probably.
Let me check.
He needed to qualify, so I presume it will be Junior Worlds. He missed his final deadlift, didn't he?
No, so he did
no,
957 and a half at Junior Worlds with a missed third deadlift, and he did 215 bench and he missed 222. I think there was probably 220 there or 217. There was more kilos on bench there. And he was forced to pull for the win. So I think he's obviously progressing. He's still getting used to the class. You know, I think he can be above that 957 and a half.
Yeah.
I'm scared to give picks for this one because I just feel like someone's going to get angry with what I say and then they're going to prove me wrong and win.
Yeah.
You're going to make a villain edit.
Yeah, they don't want to be an edit for these boys. But no, it is Nonso, Josh, and then Abdulmajid.
Is that your predictions?
That's my prediction. I don't think that Josh will be able to deadlift enough to force Nonso to be uncomfortable. And Mo has definitely got stronger. Like that squat double he posted the other day was at 355, 350-ish.
Yeah, and his best was 357 at Worlds or something.
Yeah, insane, like absolutely insane. He's getting better, but I don't know if he will be able to deadlift enough to keep up with them.
He's also switched to conventional, hasn't he? That is obviously still looking strong, but
yeah, still looks strong. But that squat, I don't know if he'll be close enough to be able to take the squat record, and I can't remember what it is, but I'm having a feeling it's like 370-ish.
But I think Josh will go for the squat record, won't he?
Yeah, Josh will probably go for a chip on the squat if it's there. And I believe Josh has Matt Gary handling him.
Wow. Okay.
Nathan has wangled Matt Gary for Josh just to make things interesting, which again is obviously going to play in and really help on that side of things. Hopefully he keeps Josh comfortable and being able to lift in kind of the way he wants to.
I think Josh it's just a matter of time before Josh. I mean, obviously his totals have been crazy. Disclaimer before I say what I'm about to say. He's kind of due an unbelievable meet. I just don't think things have quite come together. And I would love for the meet that happens to be British Open. But I don't know why things aren't coming. I don't know if it's like a mental thing, a nerves thing. So obviously, like, because him and Nonzo are such good friends as well, there is so much pressure on both of them every time they go on the platform because people are talking about 1,000 and they're doing it as well. And I think they're both capable of it in the next year, possibly sooner. My heart says Josh in first, but what I've actually written down is Nonzo first. I think Mo will come second because I think between Nonzo and Josh, one of them will be first, one will be third. Because I just think one of them will miss somewhere. Mo will run his own race and he'll just hopefully go 9 for 9. Who knows? He might miss something along the way, but let's say Mo goes 9 for 9. He's probably not even thinking that he's going to win. So he's just going to go to put up the biggest total he can. He might randomly, also pull 400 and something. Who knows?
Well, isn't that what he did last year, right? He was able to sneak up into a podium place with everything that was going on. So I think you're right, if he just, stays in his own lane and he can capitalize if one of the guys miss, which could be a possibility, as you said, we talked about it earlier when people are in these really, really tight battles. And because they're friends with each other, I'm sure them going up against each other like this is something that they're really looking forward to. And they both really, really want to win. But yeah, I did have Nonso in first just because of the astronomical deadlift. I think it just puts him in the position to pull what he needs. However, he was in that situation last year, and he was in that situation at Worlds, and he wasn't successful with his third deadlift. So I do think we have to take that into account, where at Avances, he wasn't in the pressure situation. He was there to have fun and do what he wanted. And I think he is capable of those numbers, but I also want to see him execute them under that pressure, which, again, these guys are so young. They both haven't been actually competing that long in terms of total years. So for them to be in these situations where he's like pulling for the win at Worlds, or he's pulling for like the British title, like, consider when you were 3 years into the comp and or 3 years into competing and 20 years old, being in that position. I think it's only a matter of time until he does execute it under that pressure.
I think as well, his final pull about 4 weeks out has always been like 405, 410. Because I remember saying on a previous show before that I think he's going too heavy 4 weeks out. And I don't think he's done a big pull since Avancus, which was about 8 weeks out, 9 weeks out.
Yeah.
So potentially then he'll actually feel fresher and it'll show up on comp day.
And looks like he knows different.
He tried to pull 450 or something and failed it.
Grass up Nathan here. So me and Nathan play pod together like fairly regularly. So I hear about all the boys' trainings and what's going on with that. And it seems, well, from what I can remember, that Notsu pulled a 395 and was meant to jump up ahead of that. And I think to pull 415 about 4 weeks out to set himself up for that run up into comp, and wasn't there, tapped out at 395. Which sounds crazy. He tapped out because I think he'd hurt his hamstring sprinting. And that might be wrong, but I think he tried to sprint and hurt his hamstring a little bit and tapped out at only 395, obviously. That minor amount of weight that isn't going to hurt at all. Like, it's mental. Like, actually mental to talk about for these boys to be like, on my off day, I pulled 395.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? And now, coming into comp, he should be healthier, should be coming in, like, fully dialed in. And I think it'll be great. And I do think there is a huge chance for Mo there to sneak in. And he will be absolutely thinking about the win, Mo. Like, he hated losing to Nonso last year. I know he came, was it third? He was really happy. He wasn't happy to be on the podium. He was upset that he'd lost to Nonso. Like, that was all he would talk about for the rest of that night, was that he'd lost to Nonso. Like, he's so competitive, that man. Like, and he loves being the underdog. Like I said on my story on Instagram, like, he's exactly where he wants to be. No one is really rating him for the win.
Yeah.
But he might be there. And I'd love to see it.
An important factor to take into consideration as well is oftentimes the underdogs do well because they have that hunger to be like, no one's backing me to win, and they just come into it without that extra pressure.
Yeah, he loves it. He's always loved it. And it's, even when he is the favorite, he's telling himself that no one rates me. Everyone thinks I'm going to be down the like rankings.
Yeah. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes. The thing is, as well, top two are most likely going to be, well, almost definitely going to be world spots, because the Carpino is 931, which all three of them should comfortably
I think they'll
be
all
above
go
that.
above that, yeah, for sure.
It's literally, and I hate when people say this because it's the most obvious statement in the world, but it's just going to be who makes their attempts.
Yep. It's unfortunately the way it is, isn't it? It's just make 9 out of 9 and you're probably going to win.
Also, my headphones have just died, so you two can introduce the 120 plus while I change my headphones.
Well, you actually got really, really far. Ben, you go for it.
All right. 120 plus. It's actually a pretty interesting class for the top three, and I think is one that hasn't been talked about as much as it should have been. With AJ in first with 1,001, Paul in second with 960, and Ray Bowring with 915. And now that 915 for Ray Bowring is, obviously, if you've paid any attention to Ray's Instagram, that is nowhere near what that boy is capable of. Like, he has done, from memory, 1,000 in the gym.
Yeah.
I think he did it. Did he do it at the same training session that Josh also did the crazy total at?
Oh,
in
God,
SPD?
No, I think Ray did it at the Bowring's gym down south.
Okay, yeah.
But we didn't mention, Josh totaled 1,000 as well in the gym.
Yeah.
But Ray did 1,000 in the gym. And AJ seems clear of Paul, in my opinion. Like, AJ has just been consistently making progress. But Paul's also been getting stronger. And he's been on comp kit for a couple of sessions now.
Yeah.
If you pay any attention to Paul's Instagram, he normally preps in Pure Gym. And it's one of the most entertaining things
I believe it's actually the gym group.
Oh, it's
because
actually the gym
I've
group.
talked to him about this
Sorry.
whole barbell situation.
Yeah, the barbell situation, which is insanity. Now, if you've ever trained at the gym or Pure Gym, and you have like a semi-reasonable squat, maybe not even semi-reasonable, if you squat 3 plates, like 20s, that bar is whipping, and you are struggling to control it, and the bar's slipping off your back.
Yeah.
And he is loading up like 360,
Silly
370.
numbers. Yeah.
And the bar turns literally into a pool noodle on his back. And he's having to control that. And now he's got a couple of sessions in at the Oxford Uni Gym. So we might see his squat be even better on the day. But rankings wise, AJ, Ray, and then Paul for me. I don't know if Ray will have it to beat AJ. I would love it if he could win. But I'm unsure how that will all come in with some of the Article 14 stuff for Ray as well.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting to see Ray on the national platform, and because he has been, trying to go to junior internationals, but there's been the whole Article 14, his scholarship. But I do think that he will be 12 months after USAPL comp early April next year.
I don't think there's a lot left. It's nearly up.
Yeah, because it's to do with collegiate nationals, right? Which he had to do because of his scholarship. But I'm really excited to see him back on the platform. I think he's super exciting young lifter, and it's also really, really cool to see someone come across from equipped and put it up in classic as well. And then also, he's also like, I think, showing off equipped as a young lifter as well and trying to grow that as a sport. So yeah, all in all, love to see it. I do also have AJ in first. AJ came third at Worlds in the super heavyweight class, which was an insane performance. And I think that he is just continuing to get better. And I think he's going to be even more of a contender on the world stage in the coming years as well.
I voted with my heart. I put Ray in first just because I think, obviously, consistency-wise, like, I'm assuming his dad's going to handle him most likely. They know his lifts like the back of their hands. Like, I trust him. Of all of the lifters, I imagine he'll go 9 for 9. The Carpino is 980, and I know he has said that his goal is to go to Worlds. So I wouldn't be surprised if they are sensible with it and go for, well, depending on where Paul is. If Paul is close to that 980, obviously I want to make sure they beat Paul. It will be between AJ and Ray for first, I think, and I have put Ray in first. But I do think in terms of being sensible and just securing the spot, I would probably put my money on Ray being the more sensible with that, and AJ going for the win. But I think they'll both be comfortably hitting the Carpino anyway. And I don't think Paul will be far behind. He'll probably get himself a Euros spot, if nothing else, because I'm assuming Ray's still going to be banned for Euros anyway. So they'll potentially be, depending on what they decide to do for the team, 2 120 plus spots there, depending on what they total at the comp. But I think it's going to be really exciting. And like you guys kind of said, to see Ray back doing Classic, he's definitely brought a lot of eyes to Equip anyway, but to see him coming back to Classic, and he's so good at both. And like, obviously he's done it for longer than probably all of us anyway. Like, it's been his whole life because of his dad. But I think it's just gonna be really exciting to watch. And like, it's always fun watching the 120 plus, especially like AJ with his huge squat. We're now going to potentially have 2 guys squatting 400 this year. Possibly, I don't know where Paul squats at, but he's a huge squatter as well. Like, it's going to be so fun to watch. Yeah, that's my predictions. Ray, AJ, Paul.
AJ, Paul. I think I'd love to see Paul go really well at the British. Like, just to, because he scored, I'm just having a look now, 390 in Germany. So
imagine if we get 3 people squatting 400 plus.
Yeah.
The record is it 403 and a half? I think that's what AJ squatted last year at the British.
last year.
I think as well, one of Ray's goals was to take, was it Luke Richardson's junior? Because it's Ray's last year as a junior.
Oh, was it?
Squat record, which is 401. Obviously, it's like a super old record.
Yeah, that's very
squat 401. 320.
I think he's going to be
pre-COVID numbers.
So yeah,
it's 403. You're right, and the total is 1010.5.
So Ray's not going to be playing it sensible if he's trying to beat that total.
So what do you guys think is the total to win then? If that's the junior and AJ's done 1,000, do you think it's like in the 1020s?
probably close, maybe not
2015?
quite, but I don't think it'll be far off. I don't know. I don't know where their lifts are individually to say.
1,020 would be mad. I just don't. It seems like a perfect day for both of them. Yeah, we're looking 1,020-ish, but we typically see a missed lift, don't we, somewhere? And with the jumps that these guys are having to take, like it takes it back to around that only 1,000 kilo mark, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I think if Paul's deadlift comes in as well, like he's going to be right up there with it, and will actually make it a 3-man contest to be very interesting.
Mhm.
If there are any missed lifts from AJ.
Paul's kind of just been consistently climbing year on year as well. Like he works with Paige, he rarely misses, good attempts and just consistent progress. And like you said, he's been training on comp kit for once, which makes a huge difference when you're lifting those loads. So
yeah,
it'll be good to see.
Exciting.
Imagine if the whole podium was 1,000 plus. I think it would have to be perfect days, but
yeah, for the 120 plus class in GB, that would be massive, wouldn't it?
perfect. We've made it through all of them, guys.
In an
Well done,
hour and 45 minutes. That was
Speed.
so efficient.
I'm proud of us. It's going to be a really exciting weekend. I can't wait to watch it all. Don't know if there's anything we've forgotten to mention. Anyone in particular we've forgotten to mention? I don't think so.
I'm
I
sure we'll
hope not.
find out.
Yeah, someone's going to say something at some point.
Probably. That is fine. Anyway, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you both very much. I appreciate you coming on. Ben, you've made 2 podcast appearances in 6 months.
Man.
I think that needs to be documented.
We're about it now.
Perfect. Thank you both so much. Again, I really appreciate it.
No worries.